Hello and welcome to the Chattercade podcast, where we review movies, TV, and occasionally talk random crap. I'm your host, King Thomas Hughes, and I have the lovely Hayden, aka Liquid, with me here. And today we're giving you a bonus episode between, I believe this is between Descendants 2 and 3. So, bonus time! And that bonus is us covering not one, but 2 TV shows in one review. A mega review.
Oh.
Because this one finally sat down and watched both Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. So I thought, hey, we're doing Moon Knight and we're doing Miss Marvel next month. But then she was watched it anyway, and I was like, okay, you know what, fuck it, I might as well do them both now out the way. So we're going to do both at once. So, yeah. So we'll start with Moon Knight because that was the one that came out first. A lovely Moon Knight. Nice little Funko that turned up yesterday. The only one I brought off that set. And I honestly really love this show. It was a lot different to normal Marvel. Yes, you had your normal Marvel fight scenes and whatnot, and humor, but there's a lot more complexity to it. I mean, the whole child abuse angle is quite dark. The whole split personality disorder is really dark,
and they did that quite well as well. Like with the action, some of the action scenes you don't actually see. You see the results of them, because obviously we're going on from one character's perspective, so it could be Steven's, and it will cut to Mark's, but we don't see. You guys, and then it comes back to the result.
That's very. That's like the first episode or two, and then when you finally get from Steven's point of view, not Mark's point of view. Sorry, he has the same problem, but it's not Steven. It's not Steven. It's Jake.
Spanish guy.
Yes, the Spanish guy.
The guy
you don't get to see till the last episode. So it is quite cool how they did these splits. So you only see it from the one character's point of view of then the confusion of, oh my god, what the hell's just happened? Especially with Steven and the fact that he keeps waking up in places and he's like, what? And you see his point of view, obviously having to fight and everything because he's being forced into these moments. But obviously there's that one moment you get to later on when it's in the whole flashbacky episode where you see it happen sort of without a whole violence angle. It's just like he wakes up not in England anymore, in fucking America. He's like, what?
Bloody hell.
Alright, Mum, I think that's Mayfair. Like, you see that sort of stuff, and I like how they give you these dark moments and then just try to give you a bit of niceness to sort of
bittersweet humour.
Yeah, just to try and ease out. Sticking them back. Ease out the darkness a bit. Obviously, that sequence obviously quite dark. The fact that his abusive mom's dead, and he doesn't want to get to the funeral, and he's fighting internally himself. So he snaps back to Steven and leaves Steven.
His mom's still alive.
Yeah, who thinks she's still alive, and he, just leaves him in the middle of America. It's like, what? Who the fuck am I? I'm driving on the wrong side of the bloody road here.
Oh, it's funny because we get to see at the start, Steven and Mark are they're at odds with each other. They're both fighting for control. Yeah,
they want control of the body because obviously Mark's the original personality, and he creates Steven to deal with the whole abuse. So Steven's basically the punching bag, and he doesn't realise. And then there's obviously his downtime is allowing Steven to be in control, so he can relax and not have to worry too much about stuff. But obviously, as seen earlier on, he's fighting for the little scarab, which obviously Harrow, the big villain of the series, the cultist leader, wants because it will take him to Ammit, is it? Ammit, the goddess. The big bad. You've got the big bad, which is obviously Harrow. You got the big bad, which is Ammit.
Yeah, it's like in Doctor Strange where you got obviously Posilius.
He's the big bad.
And then you got Dormammu being
big
power behind
bad.
The bad.
It's the same situation here, but obviously she's not possessing him to do anything. She's not ordering him to do anything. He's doing it himself. He's willingly killing people to balance the scales, which is quite cool. I like the little tattoo. It chooses if you're worthy or not, and if you're not, it just sucks your life from you. And if you're worthy, you're like, come on, you can join my team. You join my cultist team.
Yeah.
And of course, Mark's is unbalanced. Oh, Steven's, because it's Steven he checks. He's unbalanced because of the other personalities inside him. Which is why, if you noticed, when the scales are fucked in the boat, as soon as Stephen dies, there's only two. The scales balance out because they're both at the same basically idea of violence, so they balance out because that third personality is not whacking the balance out, which is quite cool. And I mean, I like how a lot of that, obviously, the alternate personalities is subtly hinted throughout not just the episodes, but even the end credit scene when it says Oscar Isaac. You see a picture of the face 3 times, like splitting, and there's the instant hint of there's another personality inside, which is pretty cool. Even if you don't get to see it till the last minute of the show.
Quite a few hints. Like there'll be scenes where like the one where he's in, I think it's a lift or something. There's a mirrors side of him, and you see other versions. It's like a little bit of foreshadowing.
There's loads of foreshadowing to this, and that's really well done by obviously the creators to do this.
There's the one scene where like loads of people are basically die because there's like Mark switches, and he wakes up thinking Stephen did this. It seems like it wasn't me.
Well,
I didn't do this.
I mean, you should know it's not Stephen.
Yeah.
Stephen's a pussy.
Remember, Mark goes, Steve, what did you do? Like, that wasn't me.
I was gonna say, I don't know why you even question Stephen doing it. I mean, Stephen's a pussy.
I
mean, it's not until really that scene on the boat later on, he gets the willpower to fight back.
I could actually fucking fight.
Because I mean, he does in episode 2, but it's in a more comical way. Like when he turns to Mr. Knight and he's like being really comical, and he's like, oh, come on then, he's taking his jacket off, his hair, rolling his sleeves. I was like, come on then,
I'll box you.
And he's like, flop like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name's Stephen with a P, and he just wallops obviously the fucking monster creature, and he's like wagwan.
But that entire fight is when no one else can see it, so it's just him.
That obviously is well done, because obviously that's him like showing that the fight is there, but he's still not there at the same time, which is why obviously Mark takes over and instantly kills this creature. But I mean, it's not till literally the boat episode, obviously, which is episode 5, that he gets his confidence to fight back fully. That's more of instinct. It's like protection. He's trying to self-defense. That's the word I'm after.
I think when we get to the end, that's when both personalities
agree with each other.
They're combined. They're more in sync. They can easily switch between each other, and they both sort of have control, and it's a lot more free.
They're allowing each other to flow from each other. I mean, you see that in the last fight scene where one gets knocked down, the other's straight back up. I mean, there's a scene when I think it's Harrow smacks Stephen down, obviously as Mr. Knight. It sends him flying through a wall, and then a zip line comes flying out there, and obviously Moon Knight comes out, which is obviously Mark, and fights back. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like how they've both got their own like fight style as well. He's obviously more like Batman-like, more agility,
whereas
Stephen's more brute force.
Yeah, he's using more of his fists.
I prefer cricket, really.
He's using more of his. He's using more like an actual like normal fighter.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously, say
more Street Fighter than.
Whereas Mark's using he's using his mental side of it.
Yeah.
His skills of being an actual soldier to use his to take down them strategically. While using his quick pace, whereas you say Stephen's less soldier, more on the streets. Yeah. British style, British strong style, knocking the shit out of people, bare knuckle style.
Yeah, using the fucking like batons.
Yeah, his batons, which he's like, I'll get used to these. But I found that pretty cool, and obviously, I just think Oscar Isaac was a perfect choice for Moon Knight.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, his British accent's a bit over the top.
Yeah.
But I feel like that adds to the humorous side of it. So that adds to the trying to, the less dark side of it.
It makes sense as well.
Because
he's
forcing
an American.
He's forcing the accent, so it does make sense in the concept of the show. So that is really well done. So Oscar definitely was a perfect choice for Moon Knight. So I'm looking forward to seeing him down the line. Oh, not just on maybe like a series 2, which this kind of sets up, but intertwine with other characters like Blade, maybe, because he's a character that can intertwine with Blade. I mean, there's a reference in the original Blade's TV series of Moon Knight, because he's like, Mark Spector.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. And obviously, you got Layla who eventually becomes, I think they're called the Golden Scarab or something like that in the end.
Something like
Obviously his wife. Mark's wife is Stephen's really confused and flirting with her, like they're not together at all. He's like trying to get off of her. Mark's pissed off with him, constantly like throwing him down like holes because of him like trying to get off with her. And obviously she's pretty cool as well. She's really badass. I mean, first here she's in a more comical way, like more light-hearted. But as the show goes along, obviously you start hearing like a backstory of her dad being killed, Mark knowing about this. And obviously then her eventually evolving into this superhero character with wings to assist Mark and Stephen in the big end fight, which, I mean, that's the shot of her coming into that fight, when you can see her on the roof and then her wings spread and she glides in, it's like, oh yeah, this is the character. And then she stands up and both of us like really like, whoa, what the fuck? She's a great, like, sometimes obviously these love interests in these Marvel movies tend to do fuck all. It's very rare you get a Marvel movie or TV show where the love interest actually does something, like in the first like.
Yeah, it'd be like fucking Gwyneth Paltrow fucking.
And so she eventually
going straight into the armor.
Yeah.
Straight into rescue instead of doing it later on.
But obviously a lot. It's this very rare. Not even just like the MCU Marvel. I mean, all the Marvel projects or like whatnot. It's very rare the love interest is like the hero or
MJ.
Yeah, basically. They're just usually there just to be the love interest angle.
Yeah, or like the one that's in danger. The hero's got to.
Wait, she's not.
She fucking beats.
She's the one saving him.
Yeah.
Like, she drags him through the sand to save him from people trying to kill him. So that's really, it's different.
I mean, fucking Mark dies.
I know.
She survives. He
gets shot multiple times, which kind of, you know, if she'd listened to him and maybe got out of there straight away, then maybe he might not have died. But then again, he wouldn't have been able to intertwine with Stephen more. So, you know, she kind of did good getting him killed.
Yeah, because then she got her own.
Yeah, plus she got her own powers.
Yeah.
And she's now a badass. Obviously then you got Harrow, the villain, which is obviously Ethan Hawke. And I'm so happy to see Ethan Hawke in, you know, like a superhero project, and as the villain of all.
He was a good villain.
He was a different kind of villain. He's more psychological. Like, he was more
leader.
He's kind of laid back, like compared to most villains. He was really laid back, but he was still very sinister. I mean, I'm going to grab your hand. Okay, now if you're unworthy, I'm literally going to murder you right now. Like that kind of thing, and like the whole thing of him trying to like trick Stephen, like he's trying to get into his mind, like to get him to basically assist him with all this. That's pretty well done. Obviously, the fact that, as you say, he's a cult leader, he's got his own. He hasn't like got like a race of aliens behind him. He's literally got people that he's just like manipulated into basically joining him to basically free a goddess who's going to kill everyone. So that's like, he's got the same end goal as most villains: destroy everything. Yeah. But it's like most of the time they're either born into it, they're either bred into it. But in this case, he's doing all this willingly. There's no ever reference to him basically. Like, he's worked with Khonshu before. Yeah. And now he sees the other side to it. Like, he was bred as a good guy. Like, someone who...
As the Moon Knight.
As the original Moon Knight. And then he's just seen the fact that this can be done differently from another point of view. So it's kind of a bit of different take on a villain, which...
They both have technically the same motive.
Yeah, kill the bad.
Moon Knight, he's there too for justice.
But only after they've done the bad, whereas Ammit is there to kill the bad before the bad's happened. So you've had a bad thought. Like, if I sat here and was like, in my head I was like, one day I'm going to murder you. Yeah. Then Ammit would just kill me right now because...
Well, I would, but yeah.
Should get you as well then, because you're thinking of it as well.
Yeah, but I get you first, so...
I should get us both at the same time then. But that's the idea, like, she'd kill you before it happened, whereas, you know, if I actually generally right now, then Moon Knight would come and bash my head in.
Or
afterwards.
I'll come back to life and do it yourself.
They do it afterwards, though, after you're already dead on the floor. So he sees the idea of, okay, what's the point of letting them live this long life to then murder someone when they're 70? I could just kill them right now. So it's kind of idea of, yeah, I see this happening, but at the end of the day, it could always not happen. It could change.
Yeah, it's like the
Destiny's never set in place.
it's like the whole strangling Thanos as a baby. Like we see it in the What If, Thanos becoming a good guy in part of the
Exactly.
Ravagers. So you don't always know that's the path they're going to take.
Exactly.
That's just a potential path.
So obviously, yeah, that's where you see it from Moon Knight's perspective of he's doing the right thing. He's not killing them beforehand. He's giving them the chance to prove it.
Mm.
Okay, and then they've murdered someone when they're 70. Fuck it, I'm gonna bash the skull in.
Yeah, but if they don't actually do anything or like they can change, that's what's important.
I mean, they kill that old granny, and it's just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck's she gonna do?
Mm.
I'm gonna gum someone to
It
death.
was something like probably like she lied or something, or she's gonna lie to someone.
Yeah, so it's basically like stupid
Yeah,
motives to.
because it's anything that would be classed
Bad.
as a sin, really. And there's a lot of things that can be classed as a sin. It's not just killing people or stealing or hurting. It could just be lying, or it could be like all kinds of.
That's the thing. Obviously, all the ones you see in Moonlight take it, or actually bad guys.
People who've been like killing and raping and abusive people.
Probably, I think you got a bit over the top on the raping part, but maybe possibility. Maybe one of them did. You know, who knows? Possibility.
It's worse the worst.
You went real dark real quick there.
It's a dark episode.
But yeah, obviously he's doing. Or once you've seen him take out people like that, whereas it's the ones you've seen obviously Harrow take out. Some people go, the fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I said that the old woman. That's like a what the fuck's she gonna do? Frying pan someone.
Mm.
So it's just like you can understand where both are coming from. Of course, the right path is the Moon Knight path. But yeah, Harrow's a different kind of villain, and he obviously sets up into Ammit, who's your generic "I want to destroy the world" villain.
Yeah.
Whereas he's more like I'm gonna get the person that's gonna destroy the world, which
He's
usually, yeah. Again, Caecilius. He's basically like the Caecilius, just without the, magic and illusions. He can just, kill people by absorbing their powers and summon creatures.
Yeah.
He's a bit more humanoid than most villains tend to be. But most tend to be gods or aliens or whatnot. He's literally just a human. Again, like Caecilius, just a human who's been corrupted by the fort. Whereas Caecilius was corrupted by the actual power. Whereas he's probably corrupted by the thought of this, and then he's got himself the power, and he's gone from there.
And he's also this is a person who is like he says he's traumatized by what like Khonshu and made him do. So that's what
his motive is. One of the part of his motives is literally he's had enough of killing, so I'm gonna kill again. I'm gonna kill without killing.
Yeah, I think he probably sees it as he's not actually killing them, but he's just
their souls are being used for a greater good.
Yeah,
basically. A greater good.
Whereas with Khonshu, they were just being killed.
Yeah, their
souls weren't there to help, and what it was more just straight up killing.
Yeah. Obviously you got your guard, obviously Khonshu, obviously F. Murray Abraham. He's a pretty cool character. I mean,
the idiot's back.
Yeah, he's very funny. He's your funny like buddy. If this is like your buddy cop sort of scenario, he's the funny one, and especially when Mark's around, he's the more humorous one, as you say, like, oh, the idiot's back. Go on, do it, get him. And over that whole scene when and fucking Harrow's got obviously Stephen is having a little tantrum in the background, like throwing stuff. He's like, that's all you can do, can't you? Blow wind. He's getting really annoyed and whatnot. Obviously, he's got the greater goal of he wants obviously what's her fucking name? Her name's just Layla. As soon as you said the L, I was like, Layla, got it. I could also look on the back of the case.
Layla.
It says Layla on the back. He obviously his end goal is trying to get her to become Moon Knight, which obviously pisses off Mark, which is why he's trying to push her away, while Stephen's there trying to bring her in because he wants to bone her.
Because Stephen didn't actually know until quite a few on.
Yeah.
He probably because I remember Stephen's quite confused as why he would ever push her away.
Yeah. because he's hiding it from him. He's not even telling him until he reveals, oh yeah, he wants to be Moon Knight. Oh, still, come here a little bit.
It's quite cute, like how Steven basically falls for her. Because to him, that's his perfect.
Essentially, Mark personality is the more aggressive personality,
Yeah.
whereas the Steven's the more lovable, emotional one. That's obviously where he's split his personalities. He's got one more of one side of the brain and one more of the other side of the brain.
Yeah, it's a lot like in Misfits, there's a character that literally has split personality, and like you got Rudy 1 and Rudy 2, and the Rudy 1's the like, oh fuck anything, I don't give a shit, you know, the do what say what you want to, I don't give a shit, and the other one's the more sensitive, depressed one. Yeah, like,
basically.
Oh god, be careful, I might have that might be a spot mark, that might be cancerous. I need to worry about that. The worry, anxious one. Then you got the third one, which is the aggressive killer one. So that's a trope.
Yeah,
it's a trope really to have the sensitive.
Okay.
The I don't give a shit one, and then the aggressive I'll do anything one.
Okay, that makes sense. Obviously, story wise, this was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
As I say, it's delving into his mind. Yeah, you got your generic, we're trying to stop the villain from destroying the world story, but you're also trying to dive into this guy's mind to find out why is this happening, which it does heavily in episode 5 when you get the whole asylum, which is actually adapted from one of the most popular Moon Knight comics. That whole idea is from one of the most popular ones, which obviously A Prisoner in His Mind. It's like I think it's like the biggest like Moon Knight comic. So obviously they adapted it to big screen. And obviously got your hippo. the fucking best character.
Hello.
I do like that how it delves into his brain, obviously showing you everything.
All the trauma, his memories.
Showing obviously Mark trying to stop Steve, while Steven's trying to learn more to eventually learn how Steven was created.
I think Steven.
Oh bloody hell! My room's a mess. Mum's gonna be very cross.
Steven's
walks in.
Basically, Steven's basically like the audience surrogate.
Yeah.
Quite nice. Like he's the one that learns all of this stuff while we're learning it. And obviously Layla and Mark, they already know quite a lot. We get to see Steven's journey, but in the case, the main character isn't really the main superhero personality. It's Steven, really.
Yeah.
First person we see his perspective from most of it.
So it's definitely something darker. It's something definitely different from Marvel. But with still the sprinkling of Marvel on top with CGI monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's still something very, very different, and I like that. It's a character that not a lot of people, a lot of people have got into Marvel because of the movies.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably would never even heard of Moon Knight. The only reason I know it is because of the cartoons.
Same.
Ultimate Spider-Man, I think he appears in a couple of episodes, isn't he?
And he's a bit mental.
So those are the instances I know of this character. So this is, again, brand new to me, seeing this character come to life, and I was excited because Oscar Isaac's a good actor. I enjoyed him in Star Wars as Poe. He was really good as that character, and I was very much looking forward to see how they make this character come to life. And I think they've done an excellent job bringing this character and his universe into it. That's one thing I like about Disney Plus Marvel at the moment. They're showing other cultures. It's not just you.
Yes, they are.
Like Black Panther's the big first one. Obviously showing an African culture. Shang-Chi then obviously showed you your obviously Asian culture.
Yeah.
And then you got your Egyptian culture brought to life now in Moon Knight. And then of course you got your Pakistani, isn't she?
Yeah.
Obviously her culture.
And the whole like partition of India.
Yeah. You got that whole culture then in Miss Marvel. So I like that they're giving you not just they could literally just do like the entire franchise is focusing heavily on
New York.
Exactly.
Again and again and again.
Exactly, but now this obviously at first fair enough because it's you gotta get people to draw into this universe. But now that they've drew in, you can make these gambles, which is what they're doing, and they're giving you these other cultures and showing you. I mean, all the scenes in Egypt looked incredible in this show.
Oh, definitely.
The music, obviously, you got a very Egyptian, Arab type vibe to it, which is really good. It definitely sets the scene a lot better.
It's like sometimes you feel like you're watching The Mummy.
Exactly. As big fans of the Brendan Fraser Mummies movies, this is probably why we like this even more, especially because I mean, episode 4, the whole tomb is very horror.
Oh, very.
Like when that creature like killing that guy on the
Clicky one.
table. Yeah, they're killing that guy on the table. Obviously, it's coming out of the dark after Leyland. Those are all really spooky and really well done, and I just love it completely. But yeah, I just think overall it's such a good way of bringing this character that, again, a lot of people would have known about to life. Would it have worked as a movie? Probably, if they got the right writers and if they did it right. But I feel like it worked well as a TV series because
it works best as a TV series.
How they told this story, the story they want to tell as his introduction. I feel like the 6 episodes is what is the best way to do it because it allowed you to grow with this character rather than just giving you a 2-hour film of just instantly into it and have to do all this within the movie. I feel like this works better as being spread out as this 6-episode series because it meant you can each episode you can introduce other sort of characters around. I mean, episode 3 when they first go to Egypt. You get that whole scene when they go to that auction, and then meet obviously that French guy who's I can't remember the character's name, but I know he's an actual character from the comics. Like his alternate identity, like what they're saying that is actually the name of this character from the comics. Oh yeah. But obviously, sadly, they probably won't ever adapt that character again because he sadly passed away this year in a skiing accident. I remember him as the young Hannibal Lecter in the Hannibal prequel movie they did years ago, and obviously that character they brought that character as a little minor character to life in this to be part of a big sequence because this is where he gets obviously the map, find the stars, so he can do his whole lighting up the stars and getting kind of stoned. But yeah, it's definitely something worth checking out if you're a Marvel fan, and yeah, I feel like it's a very good Disney Plus show. It's definitely in my top 3, easily. Obviously, it's going to take a lot to beat Hawkeye because I'm biased as fuck.
Very, very, very fucking biased.
Yeah, I'm very biased, but it's definitely up there, like fighting with Loki for second, in my opinion, for Disney Plus shows. But yeah, okay, so let's rate this one, and before we jump into our next one, I think it's pretty simple, really. For me, it's going to be a 9 out of 10, which is obviously a golden egg. It's just a great show, and it definitely hooked me in. I know my mum was confused when watching it, but I wasn't. I watched Westworld. I'm on series 4 of Westworld, and that's confusing as fuck. It takes a lot to confuse me, and this isn't confusing at all. I think it's more just the personality splitting. That's what's confusing her a lot more. But me, I'm used to Westworld, which likes to fuck with your brain. So yeah, definitely think a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say definitely a golden egg. 9 out of 10, definitely. It was really fucking good. I enjoyed it. It's very unique. Dark.
So you basically binge watched it in like an entire day nearly. Obviously you watched
pretty much, yeah.
You watched episode 1 to 2, I think it was, the other week, and then you binge watched the last half of the series. Just gone. Obviously yesterday. That for the rest of it.
Definitely.
So it's my second time I'm watching it now. Third time watching it.
Oh.
I have to watch it twice then. I watch it by myself and watch it with Mom.
True. Yeah.
Am I Moon Knight?
I think you are. Which personality watched it?
I'll lose track nowadays which one I am. Let me get me D20 and roll to see which one I am. And no one will understand that joke. Because that's a D&D joke that we do.
Yeah.
Well, I have to roll for personalities.
Because you were tired.
And I have to find an excuse to why I was different.
Weren't paying attention.
Yes, basically. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh. Yeah. That's Moon Knight.
Okay, so that gives Moon Knight the Chatter Cave overall rating of 9 out of 10. 9's all around. Quickly run for our MVPs and all that. MVP, I feel like Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, definitely.
Specifically, which one?
No, it's just
Stephen or Mark?
Both, wouldn't it? Both have to. It'd be just Moon Knight in just Oscar Isaac in general.
Okay.
All his personalities, because they don't work without each other. They have to flow perfectly to get the actual good on-screen chemistry. So I just thought, splash all Oscar Isaac's face over the screen. But yeah, I feel like his portrayal was really good. Obviously, a lot of people got pissed off with the whole Mr. Knight being the Stephen one because that's meant to be the
Yeah.
most brutal character. But I feel like the way they've done it in the show it works with him being that because he's meant to be more gentleman, the dapper looking one.
Yeah, a distinguished gentleman British.
So it makes sense to why they gave him that in this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe eventually, fucking Jake would take that
Yeah, maybe.
that look. Like he'd take it from Stephen.
Or get more of like a
and
more
then
sinister looking one.
Become the more aggressive Mr. Knight that people want. So you never know till it actually happens. So people can hate on stuff, but you just wait and see. Then I think runner up. Oh, it's a tricky one because obviously Khonshu's really great, Layla's great, and obviously Harrow's really great. But it's like, oh, I think it's out of those three easily. Ooh, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say Layla.
You'd personally say Layla. Oh. I'd personally say Harrow. I mean, the fucker put glass in his shoes.
Really?
Episode 1, at the very beginning, he puts glass in his he puts a glass on the table, smashes the glass, and puts the glass in his sandals.
But that was him.
And every time he walks around the show, you can hear the glass in his shoes cracking. Every time when he first encounters Mark, Stephen, sorry, you can hear the glasses walking towards him, cracking, because he put glass in his fucking shoe. That's how crazy he is.
Oh. I didn't actually notice that part.
From right at the very start of the series. The opening shot. So, who are we giving it to?
I'd still say Layla.
Are we doing a split one here again?
Yeah.
We're doing a split runner up.
I mean, it's the perfect one to do a split.
True. That is true. So like a three-way split then, because there's three personalities.
Yeah.
Layla, Harrow, and Khonshu.
Mm-hmm.
Three-way split then. We're only doing that because of this, because it makes sense.
Because the three split personality.
Exactly, it makes sense. Okay, favourite moment.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, it's fucking tricky, because I want to say, I'm not going to say that one. When you, obviously, Khonshu first goes, you would be my fist of vengeance, my Moon Knight. I would love to say that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say when Mark and Stephen finally intertwine in the fighting, and the whole street fight in the last episode, when it's switching back and forth between them fighting. You had Stephen punch, obviously, one, and you see him throw his baton, and next minute it comes back as the fucking, obviously, the Moon Crest blade. And it's obviously Moon Knight is jumping around and they switch back to I'm going to say that when they finally become one.
I would say
And they finally become Moon Knight.
When we first see Moon Knight, when he first changes into it.
In episode 1.
Yeah.
When he's punching the monster.
And he's fucking
And
brutally
he stands up and he looks at the camera.
Yeah. He's proper, brutally.
That's definitely up there. Definitely up there. So you're going with that scene then. So I'm going with when they finally become one fully.
Because the first...
Their brain becomes one brain.
Yeah.
And then yours is when he finally becomes Moon.
Notice each other, really.
You finally see him as Moon Knight. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to quickly move on then to our second one, which is obviously Miss Marvel. The more recent one. Which finished a couple of weeks ago. Obviously I watched it weekly when it came out. You watched the first episode and then took a month before, so more than a month actually, because it started mid-June, so you took more than a month before you actually sat down and watched every episode.
I was waiting for you.
I slept through the entire time as you was watching them all. You binge watched them all last night while I was asleep. So you got the fresher brain on this than me, because I just watched it when it was coming out. And I've watched the show once, that was it. So I didn't watch it twice because my mum wasn't here to watch it. So I didn't bother watching it twice. So you got the fresher brain here.
Yeah. Well, I think the main character of Kamala, really fucking good. I like her. She's very comical. she's very like obviously realistic and very very down to earth. I like the way I've done her character. She feels like a teenager who's just so imaginative and desperately wants to be like her heroes, and finally just gets the power to do it, and is struggling with that balance of being what she's always dreamed of, but also the consequences, the stuff that she glanced over. She always saw the strong parts of Carol. I never saw any of the times when she lost the battle, or when she wasn't as big and strong as she sees there. I mean, obviously, we get to see her journey turning into finally Miss Marvel. I like how they don't even call her Miss Marvel until the very last.
The
dad like hints it.
He doesn't even agree. He's like, "Oh, your name means Marvel."
Marvel.
He's like, "Wait, I'm named after freaking Carol Danvers."
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
The dad's the best character.
You've always been my Miss Marvel.
The dad is the best character in the show. Here's your new costume. Big Hulk, little Hulk. That whole... I mean, episode 1 definitely has Into Spider-Verse vibes.
Definitely.
With a lot of the artworks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I feel like then it becomes the more serious show as it goes along.
Yeah, there's still elements of that, like, comic booky, like, cool art style. It's mostly when she's still in that, like, teen head. When she's becoming more hero.
That's the cool thing with this show, because obviously all the shows so far haven't really been a character's origin story. Yeah, Moon Knight was, but
yeah,
he was instantly Moon Knight from the get-go.
Yeah, we see it as a flashback, as memories.
Yeah.
We don't see him physically becoming on screen Moon Knight.
Yeah, it was through a flashback, but obviously from the first episode, he's obviously already Moon Knight within, whereas she's not this superhero straight away.
Yeah.
And even if you look at the other Disney Plus shows, they've all established characters apart from Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
But that was more of... She was basically that skilled anyway.
Her origin is... Oh, Hawkeye saved her once, now she wants to be exactly like him.
So she already had the skills. She just obviously then just had the mentor of, okay, let's use those skills then.
Yeah.
Whereas this isn't with Kamala, she's literally just a normal person at first.
She's learned to use her powers.
Normal person. Definitely not something else with him, which I'll make a joke about later. And obviously, she gets her powers at the end, the first episode. And then it's actually her trying to figure out how these powers work. It's definitely like original sort of Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire, where he's normal at first, then he gets the power, and then he's trying to learn how to use his powers. Then we get this someone who's close to the family who tries to then kill said person. So obviously in Spider-Man, obviously it was Norman, obviously with Goblin, whereas this it's obviously her boyfriend's pet mom. Who's actually an alien from another dimension.
Yeah, and there's also like was like obviously the friend of her great grandmother.
Great grandmother, great grandmother.
Because it was obviously her grandmother's mum. The great grandmother.
Yeah, great grandmother. Yeah.
I remember the name.
Yeah, because you just fucking watched it. That's why. You got the memory of it. I'm going off old memory. But yeah, it's definitely. Again, the one that shows you a different culture in the Marvel Universe.
As well.
Again, the music, the settings, all of that is very cultural appropriate. And you've even got, obviously, something they did with Falcon Winter Soldier, where they showed you how some government people will react to said culture.
Yes.
With Falcon Winter Soldier, it was obviously the scene when the copper tried to arrest them, and they're like, dude, that's no revenge, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. And obviously, he's doing it mainly because he was black. That's why he was trying to arrest him. And this you see it with the damage control, where you see him basically keep going into the mosque and basically keep essentially threatening.
Yeah.
But they're still like, oh, we're not threatening you, but we're threatening you.
It's like the main person. She obviously, when she asked like to describe, obviously, Kamala in her as Nightlight, to describe. What was she? And she's going through all different ethnics except for white. She only went for like ethnic minorities as well, which it has to show that possibly there's some bias from her, because she completely ignores any order to not.
That's the cool thing with the obviously the damage control in this. You've got the guy from No Way Home. Obviously, he makes a cameo at the end of episode 1. Who's the more logical, the more not racist.
Yeah, basically.
And then you've got the actual villainous character, but she's not villainous as in like destroy the world villainous, but she's just more biatch.
She's very
racist biatch.
Yeah, she's definitely very biased. Like she's like,
you've got your superpowered villains, and you've got your government villains. I think we knew when watching the first trailer. We spoke about the first trailer in the podcast back in March. When we spoke about obviously Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan, I think it was at that point. We spoke about obviously when we saw the black jeeps, and I was like, oh, that's instant villain motive there. Like the evil looking jeeps. I instantly called that's gonna be like a villainous aspect.
Yeah.
And it was, because it was damage control. But it obviously wasn't fully damage control, it was her.
Yeah.
She was the one being the evil side of a government's agency.
Using her power to abuse who she wants.
Exactly, using the power she's been given to protect people by also basically being racist.
Yeah, basically.
And I do like, obviously, the other guys there constantly trying to, even though in the last episode, he's trying to get her to back off. He's like, literally, you causing a scene here. This is going to look really bad.
We're using the name of damage control. Don't
back away now. And obviously she disobeys him and goes to it. And then the last bit is like, pack your stuff. You're out. Get back in now. And it's like, someone's going to come and get you. And bring you back to me.
Oh yeah, you're fired.
Basically. So I like that. The level-headed guy is the actual sort of leader of damage control. Because you've never really seen like a leader of damage control. You've only really seen damage control used in Spider-Man mainly.
Yeah.
Homecoming was the first one where you saw Michael Keaton's obviously Adrian Toomes, who's now in a different universe apparently. Basically, I feel like they only did that because if Marvel aren't going to use him, so like, fuck it, we'll use him. Yeah, he's a great character. We'll use him elsewhere. We'll just fucking bullshit our way through this. You see obviously that damage control at Stark Towers, the Avengers Towers, when basically it's all destroyed in the Chitauri invasion.
Yeah.
And they're getting all the equipment, and that old woman comes in and she's like, okay, pack everything up, we're taking over with damage control. And that was like the introduction to those characters. And that was it, really. The next time we really saw them was No Way Home.
Yeah.
Where they basically tried to arrest Peter. And then, obviously, they're back now. Obviously, being used in Miss Marvel as the big villain. Which makes sense, again, because then you can see that the government agency side of how, yes, they're there to do good. Yeah. But they're not. They're doing it in a bad way.
There's always going to be people who use that power to...
Which is probably what they're trying to show.
Yeah.
Heavily, you got the people that are actually using the power correctly, and the people who are using it just to attack another minority, another ethnic group, which is shown really well in this. And I like that that's like the sort of plot throughout, but it's not fully shown until the last episodes. Like, you get it early on. I mean, you got the whole... I do like the... interrogation scene in episode 2, I think it is, which is obviously a big callback to No Way Home, like the way they did the interrogation with Ned. He's like, oh, come on, my buddy Ned, he's been sitting here for hours. You okay, man? You want to get you anything? And he obviously manipulates him to like, obviously tell him that he obviously knew Peter was Spider-Man. Well, I knew Peter was Spider-Man before MJ did. Really? I'm just going in the chair. Get out, we have loads of guys in the chair. Most of our guys here are guys in the chair. You know you can serve time for this, right? What? Like in this, it's like she's like the woman. They've got the woman obviously who Kamala saves in episode 1 at Avengers Con, which is a thing apparently. Zoe, the character that randomly pops up later on is like, I want to join you now. Oh, which I want to get to in a bit because that whole team up bit's hilarious. Obviously she's like sort of like a blogger, like a social media icon. Yeah. And they've got her there talking to her, and is there like, oh, you're the inventor. You did really well at promoting this and all that, and we've got loads of these here.
Everyone keeps saying stuff. Oh my god, this is so... We're all fans too. Every time a TV comes out, we're always cracking out laughing.
And then it's just like...
No way!
It's just like instantly that flips.
Yeah.
So I like that he's both good and bad cop.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you don't have this actual two people there. Because they could literally symbolise it as he's good cop, she's bad cop because of being racist and whatnot. Yeah. But they don't. They use him, but he's still level-headed. Like he knows how to manipulate people into telling him what he wants.
Yeah.
And then they'll use that for good rather than evil racist stuff. So that was quite a funny scene. again, a big callback to probably No Way Home with how they did it in that. Because, I mean, that character he had the smallest of roles in both of these shows. Both, well, movie and show. But he was hilarious in both. Like, he was really, a bit like Jimmy Woo. Introducing Ant-Man and Wasp was hilarious. Even though he had a small role again. And then was brought back in WandaVision where he was hilarious. Again, a small role. So, Marvel know well how to basically make, like, these small characters that are just, like, policemen or government agencies, and then utilize them throughout and keep the same personality they had in both. So I do like that. So I'm hoping this character gets to be shown more.
Oh, definitely.
And it would be interesting if they show people reacting to what happened in this, and him trying to protect the name of Damage Control from what she's done. Like try and basically try and separate their name from her. So it'd be interesting if they try and show that at any point. But we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely another great MCU Disney Plus show.
Also really, really, really colourful.
It is. It's definitely very bright.
I know people were like completely against the idea of having flashy light powers, but I like how it's a lot different than what people thought it was going to be. She's still stretching in a way and still using.
It's just not weird. Yeah, it's CGI stretching, but it's not weird skin trying to stretch. Like
cool.
It's not Mr. Fantastic in the original Fantastic Fours or the 2015 one trying to stretch. Like that's the weird, like try and make it look natural. Like and it just add lighting. Plus, it makes sense being cosmic-y because of Captain Marvel
and the fact as well they've changed the
origin story. Since Inhumans have basically been kicked to the ground there, and Kevin Feige's jumped on the back and fucking beat them into the ground.
Like, we've got Fox now. We don't fucking need you.
Which is a shame because I would have really liked. I mean, we did the whole Inhumans episode where we hated on the episode, but I still said I wanted to see Inhumans get the better treatment.
Done right.
And Miss Marvel was the logical option to do that.
Yes.
So if the last thing we got to see of Inhumans was Black Bolt having his brains blown out, that's definitely like their way of like.
That might be their way of saying, Inhumans are all dead now.
Because obviously Kamala's origin there is she's a.
Which choice I like. She's a mutant.
Then Marvel plugging the fact they're doing the remake of the X-Men cartoon. I love that they're using that as a theme song, but there's clearly them plugging the fact that X-Men 97's coming out in like a year or two, is it?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely their way of plugging, oh yeah, we're doing the X-Men animated show again. Yeah, you know the one you loved in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that again. Here, have the theme song for any X-Men or mutant reference in the MCU. Like, it made sense for, obviously, Professor X in Doctor Strange because it was a different universe and it was the introduction to X and like, oh my god, it's in the MCU. But it's something weird. Obviously, I'm surprised they haven't like tried to come up with another theme song for the actual thing. But I still find it cool that it's the animated one.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. It'd be really cool if when they introduced Fantastic Four, if there's like the music, the sort of music in the background, like the remake of the original Fantastic Four theme song from the animated show.
Like how the Spider-Man one, like obviously is like inspiration from the animated one as well.
It'd be cool if they like intertwine that, but yeah, I have mixed feelings on the whole her being used as an obviously mutant situation. Again, it's because I want to see Inhumans done right, and Kamala she's the reason Inhumans is popular.
Yeah,
like, that was their way of like their big like Inhuman character. So this was a really good way for MCU to do that. But they could use any other X-Men mutant to be like the first introduction. So I'm kind of annoyed with that. But then again, it's an interesting spin on her character, so it's something different. And again, it means that no, forget that bit.
I like it because it's what they would have done anyways originally. Like the only reason they chose her as an Inhuman because they didn't want to give them Fox any more X-Men characters.
Which you said in the podcast of the Hayden Show episode where it was Inhumans.
But like,
check that out.
Yeah, no reference to that. So that's why I like how she's mutant because obviously that is what she would have been anyways.
No, it's just obviously It would have been cool to see if getting crystallized and become an Inhuman.
True.
Plus, then we would have actually got the Inhumans done properly. Like, this could have been their way of hinting it, and then at Comic-Con they could have gone, oh yeah, we're doing Inhumans again, but properly. Like, that could have been their way of like, being that, whoa, my god! Like, you've just gone straight from this into that, or even at Disney Expo announced it.
I think it's because people want X-Men more than Inhumans.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, obviously, it's going to be... It's mixed feelings, that's what I say from me. It's just mixed feelings, the fact that I want to see Inhumans done properly, and it's kind of like, that's not going to be the case now. Like, that, I feel like Inhumans are now dead in the MCU. Like, which is cool, because that means, yes, we are getting X-Men, but it's just a shame that it's at the cost of the Inhumans, which have some really cool characters. I mean, Daisy, big cool Inhumans character.
Yeah, probably one of the best ones.
So it's going to be... I don't know, it's going to be a bit weird, because, I mean, if they try to introduce her into what they're going to do, change her origin story, make her a fucking mutant. Like, decanonise fully.
They could do that, or they could...
Every Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, and be like, oh yeah, she's a mutant now.
They could do
which would be, again,
or
annoying.
They could basically say Inhumans and mutants are the same thing. Because it's...
Or just do Inhumans just without Kamala.
They could, they could do Inhumans, and she's just a mutant.
Maybe.
Like, most likely would have been anyways. Because of obviously Captain Marvel's connection to the X-Men anyways. And she has obviously the big connection with Rogue, stealing her powers and stuff.
I mean, there's a whole theory that the reason the next movie is called Marvels is because Marvels is going to be a term they're going to use for mutant heavily. So that would be their way of doing that. Because then Captain Marvel would be mutant, obviously. Monica Rambeau would be mutant, and obviously then Kamala would be a mutant. Which, okay, for the purpose of that, if that is the actual true thing, then that would make sense. Her being a mutant, because then she'd have the full connection to her. But obviously, Inhuman would have worked, obviously, with the whole alien side of it.
Yes, the Kree side.
It's just a mixed feeling from me on that one. I'd like it, and I'd annoyed about it at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm divided on that one. We'll see. Depending on how they do it going forward, if they do it really well, my opinion will change. If I think they've done it really well and handled it properly, then I feel like, okay, I can accept it, it's fine. But if they do it really bad, like butcher it badly, then I feel like I'm going to be leaning more towards the should have stuck with the disturbing and human side of it. So I feel it's again what I said earlier about you just have to wait and see what happens. You can have this feeling now, but I'm just going to not be heavily towards either side yet. I'm just going to stay in the middle and wait to see how it goes before I make a full-on judgment of, oh, I hate the idea, or I love the idea. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see. Like a normal human being, and not jump on the gun and, I hate this. Oh, why did they do that? They ruined the comics. Oh, go on Twitter. Oh
no. But
yeah, basically. But yeah, obviously, one of the things I wanted to say was, obviously, in the last episode, when it's the big action one, and obviously they're trying to protect, obviously, the boyfriend character, who's now got powers because his mom died and passed the power on to him, and they're trying to protect him in the school, and then, obviously, Zoe turns up and, like, they're doing this whole plane sequence. But the thing I love about that is the brother turning up. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing here? Oh, Mom told me to come babysit you. I don't need a babysitter!
So I'm a superhero. I don't need babysitters.
I'm going to tell Mom that then. Okay, you go in. And I just love the fact he helps them as well. Like, he fully gets... Like, his character's a full-on, barely in it character. Like, he's in, like, the first episode. You see him, obviously, the plot of him there, him getting married, like he's not heavily present, and then he just pops up in the last fight. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna join." It'd be a bit like if Flash appeared like at the start of No Way Home, and then helped in the big final fight. He's like, "Come on, guys, let's get out of here!" Like it'd be like that. Like he doesn't need to be there, but it's so great that he's there because it's hilarious. Because he's like this really good, like annoying older brother who's constantly annoying her. Like I love the family dynamic of this.
Same.
You got the overprotective mom. You got the dad who's protective, but a bit more laid back. And you got the brother who doesn't give a shit. He's just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, and like even the cousins are all like, oh, yeah, go
I love
Go do your own thing.
I love there's
I don't give a
different
shit.
sections as well of the families. Like, oh, the aunts over there, like,
Yeah.
the Illuminati, and then Bruno has to suffer with them. Oh, Bruno is the best, like
yeah.
friend character.
Mm.
He definitely gives you that sort of Ned vibes. He's got that nerdy side to him. But I love the fact that he's intertwined to a culture. Like, they could have had him, like, not, like, just have him being a friend.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's really intertwined into her culture.
'Cause obviously, like,
Even at the wedding, obviously, he's fully dressed.
yeah.
But obviously, the wedding is how they, obviously, that culture dresses.
Mm.
So I like the fact that he's not just, like, a friend character. He's, like, fully... Because,
Like,
I mean...
like a part of their family.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the friend character who's, obviously, from her culture.
Yeah.
And then you've got him who's essentially an outsider.
Mm.
But I like the fact that he's a part of the family. I mean,
'cause, like,
the mom's always
Yeah.
feeding him. She's always giving him food to take. He's obviously
Mm.
doing the technology from building, like, essentially his own
that.
echo, basically.
Don't,
I'm not saying it out loud, just like he's giving them their own, like, AI, basically, which is hilarious. The dad's like, sports,
Turn your living room light on.
lights. Like, he's just getting pissed off of it because he's not working half the time. Like, he's such a great character. I mean, I haven't think the Funkos are out yet, but you can obviously get Miss Marvel with obviously the dodgy ass Captain Marvel outfit on. I think you can get her in, like, the normal outfit, and you can get Bruno in, like, a lab coat, which is pretty cool. But I definitely like him, and I like the fact that
I want the dad and the Hulk.
yes, I want that as well. I like the fact that obviously essentially, again, an outsider comes in, obviously from her culture, obviously the boyfriend, obviously the love interest, and he's not jealous of it. He's just like an overprotected brother, basically. Like, he's trying, like, he doesn't want him to be a part of the group because he knows what's going to happen. You know, he's going to fall in love and basically ignore him.
Yeah.
So obviously I like that he's this overprotected brother more than the actual brother is. And the whole Bruno, right, Brian?
I love that.
Bruno.
Right at the end, like,
Oh no.
We'll do just again. Hi.
He says his name. He's like, oh, I'm Bruno. What?
Seriously? I seriously thought your name was Brian this whole time.
I love that. I love that. He's not doing it because at first you think he might be doing it because he's being an arsehole. But he's not. He genuinely thought his name was Brian the entire time. And it's interesting as well because obviously he's got an actual job. Bruno has. He works at a shop, which is obviously something a bit different because it's very rare, like especially at their age. Obviously, it's very, very different. It's like obviously where MJ eventually goes in No Way Home, where she's working at a cafe. Yeah. It's that, but if that was in the Homecoming, so it's something interesting. He's definitely a different kind of character. Yeah, he's your generic best friend, is a genius character, but who basically knows everything. But he's a bit more grown up at the same time.
You're good at maths. What do you know about interdimensional travel? I love that our idea is he can do calculus. Maybe he understands.
Hey, you can do pi.
Dimensional travel.
You know about this? Oh, but I do like obviously he helps. Obviously, Cameron. That's his name, Cameron. I was there trying to think his name because again, it's been a while since I've watched it compared to you, and I was like, what's the boyfriend's name? Cameron. That's it.
Yeah.
Isn't it Nadia, the friend?
I think it was.
That name's ringing a bell somewhere.
Yeah.
It's either from this show or something else. I was putting a name into it. But obviously, I like the fact that obviously as soon as Cameron comes to him, he's instantly like, okay, I'm going to help you here. I'm going to get you out. And obviously they use the mosque as the cover. Oh, go guys! You can't go yet. You need disguises. Puts 2 hats on. Perfect. And I love that when obviously Kamala's in, obviously the jumping around, and she comes out and she's like, what the hell are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
But I like as well the origin story for the outfit is a mom.
Yeah.
Again, there's the family side to it. You see Vin Diesel standing behind and going, family.
And you got a nice bit of hints to it as well. Like, obviously, in the first episode, her mom's against her dressing as Captain Marvel because she didn't want her to be in a skin tight outfit.
And mom's made a culturally appropriate outfit. So I do like that angle. It's definitely something. It's nice. Yeah, and it's the fact nice and cool.
Kamala actually wears it as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of like concept arts to the mask that she was going to wear. Like there's ones where it's like a full mask, not just like the eyes. It's like a full, like Casey Jones style like looking mask. But obviously, eventually they went with the more comic accurate, just visor basically. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I think overall, the only thing that let me down with this heavily is its villain side.
Same. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I said I like the
Damage control.
damage control villain because that was like something that's kind of realistic.
Yeah.
So that's like it's again they're doing this really cool realistic angle to a fictional like concept.
Yeah.
But it's the normal villains.
The Djinns, because
the Djinns.
we beat them.
I feel they're rushed.
Before the finale.
I feel they're rushed. They literally come into it in episode. Is it 3?
Yes.
Episode
2, she's being chased. It's right at the end of this episode.
She meets them. So it's episode 3. They meet them, and they're beaten by episode 5.
Yeah.
I feel like they're rushed so much in this show. I don't think it helped with the flashback episode. I don't wrong. Yeah. I think the flashback was really well done. God, it was handled really fucking well, but it's the fact that it rushes as soon as it finished. It rushed you back straight into the episode.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Moon Knight when that did its flashbacky one, that was intertwined with it, and then it set it up for the finale. Whereas this, it rushed you straight back into it, and instantly beats the villain to then set up Cameron with the power in the last episode for damage control to take the villain angle. So I feel like you choose one or the other. You don't do both because you literally just rushed one villain angle out of the window to then push you back into this overarching villain. Like, so the damage control the overarching villain, and these are your mid-card villains. But I feel like you choose one or the other, or you have them work in a way together.
Yeah.
Like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, you obviously have the fuck the name, the Flag Smashers.
Yes.
The name's my mind.
You've got the Flag Smasher, and you got the Power Breaker.
And you've also as well got La Leap, fucking the French guy. What's his fucking name? Backtrop the Leaper. The Leaper, that's his name. La Leap. La Leap. I love Optimus Prime for that. La Leap. But yeah, obviously, yes, the villain in that was weak. That's probably one of the, again, weaker Disney Plus villain angles. But they're still handled well, and they're still given a time to shine. Obviously, Flag Smashers are all the way through the show.
Yeah.
The Power Brokers and a bit like Kingpin, the overarching villain who comes into the last episode as a reveal. And then Backdrop, he's in episode 1, and he comes back later on as
the one for going for revenge.
Yeah,
kind of.
He's there to assist them. Whereas this, it's not. It's two completely separate villains that hate each other.
Yeah.
But one's better than the other. Yeah, okay, one's gonna be better because it's more realistic than superhero angle, but you need that superhero angle to be done well.
I think,
and I feel like they've rushed it too much.
How they set up the Djinns to seem like the big villains,
and they're instantly beaten.
And then they defeat, and then it's damage control.
Because obviously you got the Djinns, and you've got obviously the what they're called?
The
red
daggers.
Red daggers, yeah, that's it, something like that. Which are like really cool, like characters.
Yeah, like they're like the good guys against the Djinns.
Yeah, I do like that when they come into it, and obviously she has that bond with obviously their young character in there. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Like I like the whole bond between them. That was handled really well, and it's just the fact that it's just the Djinns were rushed, in my opinion. They were just. That literally, as soon as that episode 5 finished, when I watched it, I was like,
same. I was like,
I felt let down by the characters. I knew there was another episode to come, so I was like, okay, how are they going to do this now?
I knew the episode, and I was like, there's one more episode. Why is it done now?
I literally was like, how are they going to handle this now?
Yeah.
But literally, as soon as episode 5 finished, I just felt really let down. I thought, because again, Flag Smashers for me were the weakest villains of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Again, being biased because Kingpin. Him and obviously the street level gang in that were good because again it was street level, like Daredevil. And that it was something that we'd seen before, and it was done well, and it built up to Kingpin. Loki had the obviously TVA. Obviously, those shall not be named. He's not, he wasn't really big.
Budget Kang.
Budget Kang wasn't big villain. He was just like this character there. It was more TVA as the villains, which are done really well. Again, a government agency using their powers. Basically, they weren't villains. That show didn't really have villains. Like
the first, they show off, they make you think Sylvia's going to be the villain.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, it's TVA. Oh no, it's Kang. Oh no. Then it's like makes you.
It's like there's not actually a full villain in that show, so you can let that one slide. And WandaVision had obviously Agatha. who was
Yes.
a great villain. Obviously, Moon Knight had Harrow, who was a good villain. But for me personally, these go below the Flag Smashers.
Definitely.
It's definitely the weakest of the Disney Plus era villains.
It's like the Damage Control were good. They go over Flag Smashers.
Oh yeah, hands down.
But
Flag Smashers were generic.
Yes.
They were generic. That's what makes them the weakest of the bunch. But they were still good. They still were handled well. Plus, we're going to be biased because the lady of them was British.
Yes.
So they were weak because they were generic. These aren't generic. They're Jinn, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
They're like demons, basically.
But then you have them. Oh, they're these genes, but they don't actually have powers anymore because this universe.
Yeah.
Powers don't work.
So then that makes them. And obviously, as I say, the fact they were rushed and handled badly, that's what then drops them below Flag Smashers.
Like it would have
to
been
make
cool
them weakest.
To like have when they teared open the veil, have given them powers. Like that way, they become proper villains. That they could actually be a threat to command.
They're definitely my weak point of this show.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that last episode, like washing that out of my mouth, I would have been a bit pissed off at the ending. Because I felt the last episode was really fun. It was it had this dark angle of racism.
Yeah.
But it was a really fun episode. Them trying to basically defend the school, running around with the hoodies on, using anything to fire back, like fucking using like fucking softballs to shit and everything. And obviously each of them getting like tasered and captured and whatnot. It was quite funny. And obviously then it built up to Kamala becoming fully Miss Marvel and becoming the hero character. And obviously the whole city, obviously the people backing her, like leave her alone and whatnot.
Like in Spider-Man. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
scene.
On the train in the second film. Love that scene.
The first one, but the first one when he's against Goblin. He's about to kill the kids and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the thrones the fit.
Yeah, it's like.
Sorry, I thought you meant the scene with Doc Ock when they're like when they step in front of him. It's like, you want to get to him, you gotta go through us, and all of them like step in, and Doc Ock's like, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant that. Oh, but yeah, that scene. Yeah, basically, there's that moment of you mess with one, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
And then that was the point of obviously him stepping in for it, like, get the fuck out of there now. You've fucked this up badly now. We're gonna have to. Basically, you've screwed damage control here, like that. But yeah, if it wasn't for that episode, I feel like it would. I mean, for me personally, it's not a favorite of the Disney Plus era, but it's because I have other reasons of loving other shows, either characters. Or they were just handled really well. And don't get me wrong, this is still
really good.
I wouldn't rank any Disney Plus show below a certain number. It was just that episode kind of ruined it a little bit for me. But thankfully for rounding, I have to round up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that covers it. It's like, again, good story, great characters, just let down by the big bad being mediocre.
I think.
And being overshadowed by
the side character.
The side bad character. So that's how I would put it personally.
I think it would have been better if it was just damage control.
Yeah.
And then you could probably do the Jin's.
It's like a series 2 or something. Like after she's come back from the Marvels, like she's been noticed by them. Like,
yes.
That would have made sense. Like this one, because she's new, that's why they'd be after her. Obviously, the damage control. And then when she comes back, she's noticed. Then they come in to try and get her to open the veil. That makes sense. It just feels too much, and that's what makes them feel rushed. So yeah, there's some ratings in. I feel like we've given both a good half hour each or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, as I said, I wouldn't go below a number for any of them, but obviously for me, Miss Marvel would be like, say, an 8.6 maybe. Again, due to rounding, because I like to round.
Yeah.
It'd be rounded up to a 9 out of 10. It's a good show that handles her really well, and it handles the cultural aspects. Obviously, the racist divide between government and obviously her culture. It handles that really well. It handles everything well, but the villains, which is what lowers it a bit. But I feel, obviously, it's going to be high 8 because of it's such a good show. It's funny. It's depressing. The flashbacks to obviously the dividing of India and Pakistan was really the partition. That's it.
The partition in India.
was really well handled. It was just literally the villains would rush. That was it for me.
Yeah.
So I'd literally say like an 8.6 and just round it to a 9, or an 8,
Mm.
8.5, 8.6, and then just round it to a 9. It's definitely the weakest of the Disney Plus era because of that. If it wasn't for that, it would be a bang on 9. Because of that, it's not. So, but it's definitely a 9 from me because of rounding.
Yeah. I'd say 9 as well.
You agree with me on the fact that it's like an 8.5 and just round it?
I'd say like 8, 7 maybe. Only because it was just that one episode. They were okay in the other episodes. That one specific episode where it just ends like, you're like, what?
The only good thing with that is literally when the mom finds out, that's it.
Yeah.
And she's just been really supportive.
Mm.
Like, that's the only good thing with that.
I mean, like, I like how everyone goes through a character evolution. The parents go through it, not just Kamala. The friend, all of them go through some kind of character evolution. And I think overall, they all round up pretty well. Just the one specific villains.
Yeah, they're just not handled well at all.
Yeah.
That
so
is
I'd give it a
literally...
9.
So I that's what I mean. I agree on like
Yeah.
like the 8.6, 8. It's around there. It's pushing that 9, but it has to be dropped because of the villain angle. But obviously, rounding gives it the overinflates the number basically.
Yeah.
So
it's the same as Moon Knight, but you would put Moon Knight over.
Oh, hands down, I'd put pretty much all the Disney Plus shows above this because of how bad the villains were handled. Yes, Flag Smashers were mediocre, but they were handled well.
I always say, like, hopefully series 2 would be fucking amazing.
If they do one, because it might be the case, and then she's in the movies. True. It might be the case of literally that's it. Like Falcon and Soldier, you probably won't get a series 2 because now they're back in the movies.
He's Captain America,
so there's no point. So it might be that case of she might just stick to the movies. But, I mean, if they get series 2, do the villains better, please. Give us some better villains. Okay, MVP. Kamala.
Come on, definitely Kamala.
Because she feels like the character.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've played the games when she's been in it. I've seen the cartoons of her, and she has the exact same personality. Everything about her
that nerdy, like fucking fangirl who's obsessed with Marvel, of the heroes and Avengers, but specifically Captain Marvel. And I like how they focus on. There's a big like connection with her being a big fan of Captain Marvel, and obviously, like in the comics, she literally disguises herself as her,
which she does in the first episode in the comic, in the Avengers Con weird fucking thing. But yeah, it have to be. The show needs her to be perfect for it to work, and it does. Okay, so runner up.
Oh, being the dad, because he's fucking hilarious.
And probably Bruno.
Yeah. I like how it's usually runs over the dad. Usually, in most things we like, always the dad's the good, funny character.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'd probably say Bruno because there's more time than the dad.
There's more emotional, like,
bond between him and Kamala. Like, again, as I said, he's trying to be this sort of big brother type character to her. He's trying to protect her from Kamran a lot of times, and then he evolves to the case of him trying to help Kamran. Like, he looks past the fact that he doesn't really like the guy. But he's going to help him, so I feel like Bruno, personally.
Yeah.
So give it to Bruno then. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so favourite moment. There's a lot of good moments. I mean, a lot of times you can see the character's first time in the suit.
Yeah.
Or that. I'm going to go to Big Hulk, Little Hulk scene. Because that scene is just hilarious. A dad just bursting through the door dressed as the Hulk. And just going, Big Hulk, Little Hulk. And that is just like top tier comedy for me.
Yeah.
It was like unexpected. Because the fact that the mum was like, oh, no, you can get to the convention. You're like, oh, okay. Oh, your dad's going to go. Oh, okay. You think, oh, no, he's just going to go as seems normal. And then he just jumps through the door as the Hulk. It's like, fucking chef's kiss, whoever fucking wrote that scene. Chef's kiss.
Oh, that was a good scene. I must admit. I'd probably say, I've got to be the end fight for me. The last episode, the big fight between Damage Control, the whole scene of them around the whole,
basically from the start of the score to basically
episode of it.
Yeah, when basically it cuts into the normal time when everyone's on the social media, like going, great character, and the leader of the mosque, they're like, oh, filter on, oh, look at me, I'm a hot dog. I'm a hot dog. It better be halal. Old people trying to use technology.
I love
Always
that.
the best.
It's like the grandma was like,
Yeah.
close her eyes, like,
No, grandma,
find more of the house. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Definitely a good sequence. Obviously, it starts with the humor. It's very it's a humorous fight. It's not taken. It's taken serious because the angle of them basically
Oh, definitely
trying to essentially take this kid and being racist.
And
But it's handled. It's obviously the school part of it is handled very funny,
Yeah.
and then the outside part when obviously they're using the powers outside, it's more serious of her trying to protect. And obviously, everyone
There's a
trying
good
to
balance.
Yeah, there's a good balance in it. A bit like Moon Knight, there's a good balance with the end fight. I love that. I love how for this for these two shows, we both went for the end fights.
Yeah.
And then on the other one, we both went. The opposite one went for basically like the introduction of a character. Obviously,
Perfectly balanced.
For you, the Moon Knight reveal. For me, the big Hulk reveal. Oh, but which would you say was the better end fight there? Out of curiosity, Moon Knight or Miss Marvel? Because obviously Miss Marvel had the comedy value to it. It was obviously this group teaming up, whereas Moon Knight had
visually, I loved the fight obviously in Miss Marvel. It's got to be the Moon Knight one because there's the whole aspect of it's not just Moon Knight, it's Mr. Knight as well.
And you also on top of that,
and you see Layla.
And top of that, you got Khonshu as well, battling with Ammit.
They're both fighting as well.
And you got the whole shot of fucking when the Moon Knight finally flies down, and Harrow sees them, and they both run up the sides of the pyramid and battling each other.
Whereas in Miss Marvel, it's more of her getting bombarded by the sonic boom. Really,
it's literally
a major fight.
It's more that one. It's more of a defensive fighting, like just trying to like not even like harming. Whereas obviously Damage Control's trying to obviously just taser and whatnot. It's not till the Great Sword where it's a bit more. This could hurt.
Yeah.
So it's more of just like trying to protect herself. I mean, even her, she's not even like hurting anyone. She's literally just using her powers to block.
Yeah.
I mean, even when Cameron's trying to kill Damage Control, she's blocking him. She's knocking him aside to protect Damage Control because she doesn't want to hurt anyone. Whereas in Moon Knight, it was more we need to fight to kill.
All fighting against.
We need to fight to harm to stop them. So I'd agree with that. I'd agree on the Moon Knight has the better end fight scene.
Yeah.
Which one would you say got the better character evolution there?
Oh,
because Moon Knight handled it really well, and so did Miss Marvel.
I'd say Kamala, because it's everyone gets evolution. Or all of the characters get their own.
I mean, like main character. I don't mean like everyone. I mean, it's like the main character.
Main character.
And the main character, which one do you say was evolved better throughout the show?
Again, I'd say Kamala because at least with Kamala, you can see clear evolution, and you see her learning to use her powers. She doesn't become Miss Marvel straight away, like in Moon Knight. She has to like go through a lot of journey to become Miss Marvel. Whereas in Moon Knight,
he's already Moon Knight.
Yeah, he's already Moon Knight, and the evolution is just them becoming both of them coming together, like both of them being more in sync. And that's pretty much the only real evolution. That and obviously Mark comes to terms with the dark parts in his life.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say I agree on that, but I'd have to say Moon Knight more, just because of the fact that the emotional journey I feel like was a lot. The evolution of the emotional side of it as well was much better. The whole fact that Stephen has to learn everything that Mark's trying to hide from him, the whole abuse in his family, like that was like handled really fucking well, and it evolved the characters to the point of we're now like becoming one. So I feel, and the fact that it's the journey's not even over. The evolution of the characters, that's still that mysterious Jake Lockley and Khonshu in a suit. But there's still more. Like Kamala's still got more of her journey.
Yeah.
Her origin as Miss Marvel is kind of basically done now.
It's more.
Whereas Moon Knight isn't.
Yeah.
Because until all three personalities are fully intertwined, he's not fully, in my opinion, Moon Knight. Yes, he is Moon Knight, but there's still more to make him a better Moon Knight. Basically, there's still that vengeance side. So I want to say Moon Knight on mine. I want to divide you on this one.
I'd say Kamala.
I'm gonna be different to you on this one.
Okay.
It would be stupid of me to say which had the better villain, but we're both probably going to agree Moon Knight.
Yeah, we've already said that.
I feel like that covers everything then.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah. Which had the better special effects?
Marvel, I'd say.
I'd say just because
I'd say
Moon Knight.
You know,
because the darker nights made the special effects look really fucking good. Whereas Miss Marvel, there's some shots that look a bit dicey because of how bright they are.
True.
Which again is probably why there's a lot of obviously hate with the VFX people on Marvel at the moment. Like, them obviously hating Marvel for basically abusing people. So maybe that's why that looks a bit dicier at times with the lighting and whatnot. And there's that whole shot in episode 2 when she's learning to use her powers on the rooftop. Yeah. You can tell she's fake. When she's jumping around and it zoomed out, you can so tell that's like all CGI. And I was just like, ooh. Whereas Moon Knight, there wasn't really any for me that made me go, looks fake. Fucking looks fake, yeah, it does. Plus, I like the whole Moon Knight transformation, the bandage wrapping around his face. That for me is really cool. So I wouldn't divide you on this one. I want to say Moon Knight again. I'm biased here. I'm not really biased. I just prefer Moon Knight. Personally. That's just personally. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other ways we can like say which one's did better, but I feel like we covered everything.
Yeah, we have.
I feel like something like story kind of comes into character evolution because that's sort of linked and the villains all linked in there. I feel like there's cover everything. Okay then. Have you seen both shows, or at least one of them? If you have, put your comments below. Your thoughts on either one of them, or both of them if you've seen both of them. Obviously, we still have one that that's already come out yet. Disney Plus shows that needs to cover Hawkeye, but I'm saving that for Christmas because it's Christmas themed. I mean, we could have done that before, and we was going to do it last year, and it wasn't that I kind of forgot. I think it ended around the same time as Spider-Man came out, so my heavy focus was Spider-Man. So just kick off Christmas this year, we're going to do Hawkeye. But I also do want to try each month to try and get at least one bonus podcast in that's focused on TV or a random topic. It doesn't even have to be a bonus. If I can fit it in, like the October one that's planned, that's not a bonus one. But it's not just a full focus on a movie, reviewing it. So I want to try and do that at least once a month. So we'll see what other TV shows we can like try and get through. Obviously, these ones are okay because they're 6 episodes, quick and simple. Obviously, ones where it's like a big 20 episode series might not be a bonus one, or if it is, obviously it'll be one that's planned for weeks ahead for us to sit through the show over the course of so many weekends to get through it. So I want to try and do that, so it's not just always a movie review each time. Because then the intro makes sense to me saying movie review, TV review. Video game, I mean, we could have done The Quarry as a review. We could have, but obviously we didn't because we kind of jumped straight from that into another game, so we kind of got distracted on that. So we'll try and maybe do that when we finish a game. Like if we finish like an actual playing game, we might jump on like a podcast and talk about it. Obviously, Last of Us probably next a big one, part 1. We'll probably jump on after that and do maybe something on that. So yeah, like we'll try and do basically one that's not just always a movie reviews. That movie review is going to be the common one. The TV, video game, and this random topic would either be a bonus episode like this one is, or would just be slotted in if we're like, okay, we can't. Like October, for example, I was debating on one last film to put in. I was like, I could just do this instead, which I'll announce close to the date. So you already know what it is.
Do I?
The quiz. I won't say what about.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
You don't remember it?
No.
The quiz I showed you last weekend. For fuck's sake. I'm going to spoil it. The quiz I did with Connor last year. The real or fake quiz. I even explained to you how it works. Is the movie real? Yes, you get a point. Is it fake? Yes, you get a point.
Oh, that.
Yes.
Now I remember.
And then I've sported. It was going to be a surprise for close to the date. I'm redoing the real or fake quiz this year with her, see if she can beat Connor's score of 27, I think it was.
Probably not.
I mean, he got lucky with some of them. And there's some that are blatantly obvious and he got it wrong. It's a tricky one where he's just trying to decide it sounds so fake, but it could also be so real. But But yes, I'm redoing that quiz to see if she can get better than him. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do just a non-movie one every now and again, at least once a month. That's my aim. So it's not always movies. If we got the time, that is. If we don't have the time, then just be the schedule as it is. So we shall see. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed our double podcast. Basically, it's 2 in 1. Dave's trying to sit through the show again later on to then redo it. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed, and we will see you for the actual scheduled podcast of Descendants 3, I believe it is. Yeah, because I'm going to slot this in between those two, so it'll be Descendants 3 next on Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.
Bye.